Hey everyone, so we're going to be running through a core program today. We're going to be running through 5 different exercises and we're going to be doing them for a minute each, and then we'll be moving to the next exercise. So the first exercise is going to be a crunch, and I will demonstrate and do the activity with you. We're then going to move to leg lowers, and then we're going to move to a V-sit hold, then onto a lower back extension exercise, and then onto to finish off a plank. We'll be dealing with a timer, so the timer will count us down and you can follow along as you do the program. So just a few, if you want to make it more difficult for you, there's a few ways you can make the load heavier. If you do have some form of actual equipment, such as a dumbbell, you can use that. You can also load a heavy school bag just with some books, and that way it will provide some load, but obviously with equipment that we all have at home. And then finally, if you have any kind of old, maybe milk bottles that are finished, you can fill these with sand or even water, and they'll provide some external weight for you. Today, I will just demonstrate with no external weight, and that way you can basically progress it if you have progression, or you can basically do it unweighted. So let's get started. It's going to give us a 15-second countdown, and then we'll get straight into the first minute of crunches. So start my timer. Alright, so you want to be lying down for this exercise, feet up, straight back, and all you're going to do is just push your hands up to the ceiling in a controlled manner. So just nice and slow, and back down again. The movement is not a big movement, but you should be able to feel the contraction through the upper abdominal muscles. Once again, if you wanted to make this more difficult, you could be holding some form of external weight. So just a nice, slow, controlled movement. Contract the upper abdominals and then lower yourself back down again. Make sure you keep your eyes fixed on the roof, just to keep that neck in a neutral spine position. Okay, now we're changing over, so we're ready to move into the leg lowers. So if you're someone who struggles to keep a neutral spine and keep your spine down on the ground, you just want to bring your legs up to a 90-degree angle and just lower one leg at a time and then back up again. Once again, it's just a slow, controlled movement, but you want to make sure that that back stays nice and flat at all times. Then if you're more advanced, you can start to straighten that leg out and then bring it back in. And then to advance the exercise even further, you can start to use both legs, but you'll start to see that the back starts to round. So you really got to make sure that that back stays nice and flat, pushed up against the ground. Okay, so next exercise, we're going to move into a V-sit hold. So this one, you want to be bringing your feet up and your hands, but you want to make sure you sit up nice and tall. So you'll start to feel a bit of a shake. Don't let that back slump at any point. To make it harder, you can go into straight legs, but a lot of people will find just the level of difficulty with the bent legs enough. At all times though, just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. So you should feel a bit of a shake. That's it, keep that position, sit up nice and tall. Okay, so the next one we're going to move into is more of a back exercise. You can do this on your hands and knees, and you're just going to basically pull out one hand and the opposite leg, and then you're going to come back in. You want to make sure that your hips and nice and straight at all times. So once again, nice and controlled, and back in. And then if you want to make this more difficult, you're just basically going to come up, and then you're going to basically keep those hips, just raise that arm up. So it's really important that you keep the hips nice and straight. What you don't want is them to sway from side to side. So it's really important that you keep the core tight and you don't let any swaying occur. Alright, and then to finish off, I'm going to drop down into a plank. Really important that you hold a nice straight back at all times on the plank. If you can't hold the full minute, that's absolutely fine. Just making sure that you hold the straight back. Just focus on the breath. Make sure that you keep everything tight and your back straight. You might feel a bit of a shake. That's okay as long as you keep that back straight. Okay, that is us done. So that takes you through a 5-minute abdominal workout. If you find that you need more challenge or you've basically adapted to the exercises and you're finding them quite easy, what I could recommend is that either you give yourself some external load via some home equipment, or you could do the circuit twice in order to give yourself more volume. Hopefully you found this enjoyable and worthwhile, and I look forward to making more home videos for you.